We haven't connected in almost 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, right. So lots going on. And I have a mural board going over here.
Great.
I usually do these virtually too, so I'm so glad you're
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
because we get to do this in person. But usually I'm looking at a screen and it has my questions and just stuff that is context to keep the conversation going. And then I'll have a series of questions just about 80, 90, and then you can give us the story on that.
Great.
But you're in town because of this symposium.
Socratica.
I tweeted, Socratica. I tweeted that we're about to jump off. You were in a meeting. So I'm excited about talking to you. Yeah, so you flew down for Socratica. You were in Waterloo before, but before we jump into it, I guess help other people understand who you are and what's your story to Waterloo that you were back here for Socratica.
Yeah, so I graduated from Waterloo last year, and I honestly I think the Waterloo community is great and amazing, and it's improving every single year. It's one of the things where I feel like I started school like during the pandemic or a bit before the pandemic. I think a lot of things have gotten worse after the pandemic, but not the Waterloo community. I think it's just getting better and better and better. I went to Waterloo, and then I went to high school in a small town on Lake Erie called Port Dover. I don't know if anyone on the call has heard of it, close to Brantford or Hamilton. And then we actually I took a computer science class in grade 10, and our teacher used to be a tobacco farmer who had his farm seized by the bank for some bad financial decisions, and he decided to go into teaching, and he didn't know the code, but he was just like an intelligent guy. He was like farmers are actually very smart.
Oh yeah,
a lot of farmers are
my
very,
dad.
very
My
smart.
dad comes from a farming line. So.
And the like tobacco farming, there's like a whole process. You have to have all these like houses, like you have to have bunk houses for all the workers, and then you have to. So it's actually a very you have to be very organized to do that.
Okay.
He's a very smart guy. He just gave us like a YouTube playlist on Visual Basic, which is like a Windows programming language, by Bob Tabor, which is was in the 90s, I guess, was one of the top computer science influencers.
Okay.
And he's like, if you finish this playlist by the end of the semester, it was a pretty long playlist, you will get 100%. And then it was like maybe 13 people in the class, so a pretty small class, and only 2 people ended up finishing it. So me and my other friend, and then that was just like when I just sort of like fell in love with computer programming. I remember I built a project there, which was like around the concept of steganography, where you could upload an image and you could give it a password, and it would like turn like the password, the text, into like a mapping and shuffle the pixels around.
Oh, that's cool.
So it wouldn't look like the image anymore, and you'd only be able to turn it back into the image if you gave it that. And I remember I was super impressed. One of my friends learned Unity and C# and built like a game. So it just really this was before AI. So I'm like a OG learned to program without AI.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of just downloading PDFs of books from LibGen, and then just looking on Stack Overflow, and it was just it's just you just are stuck on stuff for days and weeks sometimes, and then when you finally figure it out, it's just so amazing.
Yeah.
And now it's like a different paradigm, because it's really it's very you can get stuck, but on a higher level, where you're just this is the thing I learned when I first learned to code, is sometimes you can get stuck in a loop of just trying to copy and paste code from Stack Overflow. It's just gonna and then that you can just do that forever.
Yeah.
And at some point it's not gonna work. And so sometimes you need to take a step back and just think, what am I trying to do? Where am I at right now? How can I get there? And that's sort of our product, Software Factory, that we build at Unity, that I built with Chamath, sort of does that sort of at a higher level for enterprise teams. Not only let's just spin 100 Claude code agents in parallel, and they have no context on what the problem they're trying to solve is, or what they're trying to do, or what is the team that is going to use it, or how it should be built. But it's actually set them up with these are the product requirements. These are the features needed. This is how we'll know the features are done.
Yeah.
This is what the architecture needs to look. So it's I learned that there. And then I just saw this video on YouTube. I think it was by this YouTube channel called Kurzgesagt, which is a German YouTube channel, but they do all these animated videos on this is how supernovas work. And then they had one on the Gigafactory that Elon made. and like automation, and it had videos of like the robot arms, and I was like, this is so cool in like grade 11. So I was like, I wanna learn robotics, and I just searched up like best robotics program Canada, and then Waterloo came up. So I was like, let me apply it to Waterloo.
Oh,
And then a lot of my teachers actually at Holy Trinity Catholic High School, which is a great high school by the way, and all the teachers were super amazing. One of my teachers in math class, Mrs. Demeter Boyd, I don't know if she'll listen to this, but she probably made me really love math in a way that I liked it before, but I really loved it after taking her class. Like she really inspired a love of math and problem solving in me. She was a PhD from Waterloo as well in math, and she
okay.
was teaching math in a small town. And then a Mr. Vanderbilt as well was my physics teacher, and he's from McMaster Engineering. So it's really amazing the sort of education system we have in Canada.
Yeah.
It's a really amazing education, and we're lucky to have it.
Yeah, that's
Like, I grew up in India and in Riyadh in the Middle East, and now I'm in the U.S. Like I'm gonna say we in Canada are lucky.
yeah.
I will say to have one of the best educations.
Yeah, like
in
I
the
wouldn't know
entire
any
world.
different, right? I've never been
Yeah.
in education
It's
anywhere else in the world,
It's
right?
probably top 3.
Yeah,
Like
wow.
at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I love the backstory around just the note on farming, because I also remember my dad's stories and,
Yep.
and things that happen on the farm where
Yep.
there's not even a hospital nearby where their
Yep.
farm was up in the Ottawa Valley.
Yep.
So making mistakes was risky, and,
Yeah.
and the types of dangers around the farm and heavy equipment. They ran a sawmill and some other
Yeah.
stuff. So you learn an appreciation for planning ahead and
Yeah.
thinking about all these variables that,
Yep.
according to planning and getting what you
Yeah.
need, because the cost of making mistakes on a harvest way downstream are too expensive to get
Yeah.
wrong way upstream. So you're really planning
Yeah.
a lot ahead. But nonetheless, the
Yeah.
other thing I like about them is the hands-on sort of hacker mindset. When something breaks on a
Yep.
tractor, you've got to figure out a way.
They're really the original like solopreneurs, like because like you fix the tractor,
You got it.
You're like a veterinarian, like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you help the horse
exactly,
give
right.
birth, like you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
do
like that
everything.
too. The
Yeah.
vegetarian or veterinarian. I never thought about that. But also, I've sort of latched on to the idea about them being hackers, and that when something breaks,
really are.
right? That they had to learn how to fabricate, and it's like, oh my god, an axle or something has gone on the tractor, and I guess we
yeah.
got to learn how to weld, and so it's being
yeah.
very responsive in the moment to keeping momentum
think-
going towards their
yeah.
long-term goals,
Yeah.
and it's like,
I think this is a great like parallel towards the current AI,
Yeah.
like what's happening with AI to like knowledge work, and like
Okay.
and like coding, because like there was a agricultural revolution, or like with mechanized farming, there's the
Yeah.
industrial revolution, and then there's like the intelligence revolution kind of.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah.
and if you think back to before the agricultural revolution, like what 95% of everybody was a farmer. Right, and you can even compare. So like for example, where I grew up in like India versus like southwestern Ontario, like Norfolk County, then where I grew up in like middle school and high school, there's farmers in both places. I will say farmers in Canada are actually like, they're like a lot of them do like pretty well for themselves, and it's because they have this leverage. Is you have these tractors, you have these systems, you have these machines that work for you, and they know the strategies to apply them. So it's, if you go to like India or maybe countries in Africa, it's like a farmer might have maybe, I don't know, like a couple of acres, like very small amounts of land.
yeah.
Farmers in Ontario, you have like 100, 200
Yeah,
acres of
yeah,
land,
yeah.
and you just have these like machines or that work for you, and all this leverage that you just kind of like, hey, I might drive this tractor for like a whole day, but then that's gonna help me have 100, 200 acres of land. I think the same thing is gonna happen with knowledge work
Yeah.
and like coding and like all
Well,
that.
let's
kind of
unpack that. How do
Yeah.
you see that parallel with knowledge work? Where do you see the patterns sort of like transferring there?
Yeah, well, I think it's you do stuff like what enterprises are doing with Software Factory. Like we just announced a partnership with EY.
Congratulations, by the way.
No, that's the entire team. They did a lot of hard work.
I got that. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
massive.
their amazing team. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Alex and everybody. There's I think Chamas might be in
No, he's not in this one. He was on
Okay, there's
stage.
Max, he's our
But
VP of sales. Everyone's great.
amazing announcement. Congratulations on
Thank
this
you, thank you.
partnership. So let's unpack that. So though I'm assuming there's some conversations and they had to understand your worldview, and as we're talking about and the benefits of 80/90. How does it? So the same story would have had to been told to them. So yeah, help us unpack that.
So it's really just like you are a farmer, and the agricultural revolution is happening. Are you gonna buy a tractor? Are you gonna set up tractors? Are you gonna buy fertilizer? It's really that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Or are you gonna be the farmer that's gonna stay with a couple acres of land?
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna...
And I appreciate that because there is still Mennonites and Amish culture that don't go electric. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, and there's nothing to discredit them. I love the Mennonites and the Amish too.
They build great furniture. Yeah,
exactly, right? And there's homesteading, and there's all like non-machine types of farming. But yeah, if you on the grand scale of things with humanity, you're going to need to feed a lot of people, and we need new systems. And so then Ernst & Young partners with you. How long has that been in the pipeline?
So it's just, I will say, like, again, like, this is all thanks to my like amazing Max and Alex and all that, so they know the exact details. But it's really they kind of just started off with a couple seats.
Okay.
And then they were like, this is just so what Software Factory really does is like for example, if you're a farmer and you just throw a bunch of tractors on your field and you just turn them on, like you're not gonna have a good time. Like you need to set up plans and you need to set up systems that are gonna allow you to farm with quality, control and consistency, right? You need quality.
Okay, I see. Yeah, you're taking a systems approach to farming.
Yes.
Not...
So it's really like, so that's what we do at our factory, and that's what a lot of people are trying it with a couple people on their team, and they love it, and then a lot of people want to try it, and then that's what we do. It's like you literally set up the foundation, and you fertilize the field, the
operations of your business.
Yes.
And we're talking mostly data now, right?
Yeah. So it's you, because there's so much tribal knowledge.
Yes.
In every single team,
That's
governments
correct.
Especially, large enterprises, Fortune 500s. There's so much tribal knowledge. Agents can't act on tribal knowledge.
No.
Right?
And even employees are hard to
have
act
a problem
on it.
with that. And then if you have an employee that has all this valuable tribal knowledge and they're leaving, it's like
gone.
You just lose it.
Yeah.
And then like Claude Code is gonna have to spend a million, a billion, a trillion tokens trying to rework all that from scratch. So what we found really works is just very clearly giving like Claude Code and coding agents like, this is what you need to do. I've thought over this really well. Like it's very clearly defined, and this is how you can know when you've done it, right? So even now, if you compare AI now to a year from now, I mean it's a lot more autonomous.
Yeah.
Like a year from now, I was still coding manually. Like I love to code. I'm a software engineer. And I would ask questions once in a while to like ChatGPT cursor ask mode, or maybe a single file in cursor. But now it's cursor agent mode. It's just like cursor agent mode. Here's my work order from Software Factory. Here's like what is in scope, what's out of scope, very detailed. Here's the acceptance criteria of like how you will know it's done. Here's your browser. Cursor has a browser now, which is amazing. Claude Code as well has the Chrome DevTools plugin that it can also click on the browser. I want you to just go and build this then check yourself in the browser to make sure all the features are completed and tell me when it's done. And then the really amazing thing that is happening is like maybe a couple months ago, like Anthropic was the only name in town with coding models.
Yes.
OpenAI has amazing coding models now. Like 5.3 Codex is actually good.
Yeah, I'm hearing
it's a good model.
About it. Yeah.
Composer 2 is a good model too, it's Cursor's model that they built, but it's a Kimi Moonshot model fine tuned.
And when you say these are good models, we're taking this as the context for application agents, right?
For coding,
building software.
Yeah, building software, but really even with and then a year from now they're going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like if you tell them here's Netflix.
There's no stopping this.
Yeah. Well, it's like this was the whole thing. Like when I started to learn to code, you would literally pull up video. Like I would watch like a 3-hour long video. Like let's build Netflix
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's build Reddit from scratch. And now you can I think at the current moment in time, it would do it, but it would be crappy. It would be like bugs, like stuff isn't really, like
Yeah.
a year from now you could tell, hey, you know, whatever Codex 92, like, it won't be 92 for a year from now. It will be maybe
I
Codex
think-
9.
Yeah.
Build me Netflix from scratch, and it will be able to build Netflix from scratch.
Oh yeah. I can see it up and
But that's because Netflix is very well defined on the internet. Everyone knows what Netflix does.
yeah. So okay, so then
Yeah.
maybe this will help our pivot into talking about 80/90 as far as the conversational experience when somebody doesn't know the entire plan. I believe I've looked at some
Yep.
people using your software, and it has a helper to help them articulate
Yeah,
the
it's
needs if
sort
they're
of-
not doing it
Yeah,
really well. Is that how that works?
there's basically a place for so our basic thing is like Cursor, Cloud Code. These are all great, but they're all single player. You know, they're
Yes.
not multiplayer. They
Okay.
only work for, maybe you can use it independently and you can share artifacts, but you can't collaborate on stuff.
Big distinction. Got you.
So
Okay.
we have a multiplayer
Oh
platform
wow.
to build a context layer for these coding engines. So basically, we have a
Oh,
module
wow. Okay.
called Refinery, and you might be renaming that to requirements soon. So where the product managers and the business analysts, they go in and they say,
Love
hey, this is the business problem. These are the people that are going to use it. These are the features, the specific features that we need for each feature. This is kind of like the user stories of how people will use it. These are the acceptance criteria of how we will know it's done, right?
Yeah.
From the business, from like just like, this is what we're building, not how we're building it. This is just what the product is.
Yeah.
From the product manager and the business analyst point of view, and you can all like write in this document. And there's like a cursor, like agent type interface where you can work with the agent. You can upload artifacts, meeting transcripts.
Okay, cool.
PowerPoint
Meeting
decks.
transcripts.
Yeah.
So
that's a big thing, right?
you know, my favorite thing about all of this is sales, but not in the sense of is understanding like market is pulled in people pull products and services into their world to get stuff done, right? Everybody's trying to get stuff done. So that's really cool. That so I could dump in my customer
I should read this
intelligence.
book,
Yeah. So Bob Mesta's in my book.
I
And
should
for
read this,
So for those that don't know me, I wrote a book about contextual intelligence called Cultivating Clarity, and we haven't connected in a while. So I did sign this one for you.
Amazing, thank you.
Because it is about context,
great.
and we're going to get deeper into this because this is my favorite subject. I'm obsessed about context because it allows you to learn faster and understand about the things around you. But now when you're taking the customer's perspective into play. The more context you have about customers, the better you can solve their needs. Yeah, and I wanted to give that to you.
Thank you so much. That's great.
So yeah, that's your copy.
Cool.
And so now, yeah, you can dump in all my customer intelligence into this tool or meeting transcripts, and now it has.
As a context.
Yeah, that's
As
just
a
awesome.
context. It has a contextual intelligence.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing.
It is.
Because like, well, there's a. I'm a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, cool.
And there's this quote in Sherlock Holmes, which is like, a true rationalist can, from looking at a drop of water, deduce that the Niagara Falls is possible.
Wow.
Which is true,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
But think about how many tokens Cloud Code would have to take to say, here's a drop of water. Like maybe Sherlock Holmes can do that in 10 years, but then if you give Cloud Code a picture of the Niagara Falls, you tell it, is this possible? It's gonna be, yeah, it's possible. There's a picture of it. So it really is all about context and giving the agents what they need, and that's really where sort of there's a lot of bottlenecks that can happen.
You're right, and you talked about this tribal knowledge, and when Chamath first talked about this, he framed it as, tell us what enterprise software you use, my team and I will bring you 80% feature complete version at 90% the discount. But this last mile part of the problem is, I think, where the richest context lies in your customers' walls that are not public knowledge. So tools like yours that come in build them, I would say, a little brain about their own business that they never had before. Is that a fair way to sort of think about a mental model on that?
Yeah, it's like it's
Or would you describe it any differently?
we call it a knowledge graph.
Yeah, okay.
We call it a knowledge graph.
Yeah.
So you create a knowledge graph of these are the artifacts about my business problem. These are the requirements for the piece of software that will fix those business problems, and this is how I will know it's fixed those business problems. And then here's blueprints, which are engineering plans, which is like what is the right way to architect the system, what in terms of scalability, reliability, all that to make the system work. And then we have a layer called validator, which is currently we're still building it out. So currently it takes in like user feedback from your app, like a little feedback one, like Intercom, and it plugs the feedback into to the knowledge graph. So then you again have people using the product tell you this is what's working, this is what's not working, this is what I need, and you can plug that into your knowledge graph.
Yeah.
So it's all about building that knowledge graph.
That's absolutely brilliant. And then I think I want to get the story like you going into 8090 because you were at the ground floor, and I believe there was a point where you dog food it to then spin it up, and
so
now it's your own. You're using it internally.
When we started, we didn't. When I started at Unity, we didn't have Software Factory.
Yeah.
So we started. So Chaman started 8090, and I joined a couple months after when I met him.
It was only a couple months after, right?
Yeah. So he started in June. I joined in October. So it is like 6 months after.
Yeah.
And then the idea at the time was like the original thesis, which we're still doing, which is like Fortune, like a lot of these big companies, they want to use AI to build their software, and we come and like help them build. And then we just had unlimited cursor span, unlimited Red Bull, all this stuff to build this, and you know we ship some really amazing working software, and then what we learned is that there was still something missing. Right, from even with unlimited cursor, it's still we started building these systems to gather requirements, to still like when we let cursor make all the decisions on like this is how the system should be architected, and cloud code as well. I'm sure it would make some bad decisions, and then it's a pain to go back, and you work it, and you're just like, man, I wish I had just thought this. I wish I just thought about this in advance.
I gotcha.
And shifted the thinking left and just told cursor, hey, this is how I want you to implement it. And that's our second module with the blueprints. So then we started this. We have internal hackathons every couple of months.
Oh, nice.
And then a Software Factory started as a hackathon project, and we're like, this is super useful. And then Shaman was like, well, let's get it out there and let's get people using it. So we just launched it like five weeks ago, and obviously as you can see, I've been, you know, we've been having a lot of demand for it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I will say our target our target customer are like larger companies or like enterprises where like there is that tribal knowledge. That is our target customer right now, and that is who we see have the most success with it.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to use AI in your company and you're like, I don't know how to start using it, and then like this is the way to start using it.
Okay, cool. And it really helped me see that when you said Cursor's single player, Software Factory is multiplayer. So that's amazing. That I didn't know that. So then it's going to hold context as more people are getting into the loop, and not just software engineers, but like you said, your PM or whoever else needs to be in a project is getting the full context knowledge graph that's building around any project. And has, I believe, all decision traceability now because it is all contained within a system. So as the project goes and ships, if I want to see something that somebody made a decision on as like the nucleus or seed of the beginning of an idea or something, whether it was a customer intelligence piece that got stitched in or something, I can go back I can go back that way, right? So I can go see the decision trace. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, we have different versions and stuff like that, and then we have ADRs, they're called, which are, so this is more when you go to the blueprint level, which is like how the system should be built. We have ADRs, which are architectural decision records, which is like you kind of have a record of these are the changes I made and this is why I think they're the right changes.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. And then now that you're definitely ramping up, you got lots of demand. What is the most technically interesting problem if we've got agents and AI tools augmenting our ability to code now? So
Yeah.
is the technicality of what your craft is shifting to a different abstraction layer, like you mentioned, or is
I
it?
think, yeah, I think everybody, first of all, like everybody is using AI, and people using AI are finding that if you're successful with it, you're really shifting your thinking left,
Yeah,
which is you're shifting to a higher level, and you're just kind of spending time, almost like a like like I remember when one of my first internships was at Huawei, which is the Chinese company, and I had a really great mentor there, Farhan, and something he told me is that as a technical leader, your output is not like how much code like the leaderships, but is the team moving in the right vector in the right direction, and is the team shipping, and if the leader is like writing a lot of code, but then the team is not shipping or moving in the right direction, that means that the leader is not
yeah,
doing their job.
yeah.
And now basically everybody is sort of that technical leader,
Yeah,
right?
I
And you have
gotcha.
to make sure that your team is right now. I feel like I still don't have like persistent like agents that are running 24/7.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna get to that probably in the
yeah.
next
Oh,
year.
totally.
Like cloud bots are starting to be a thing as well.
Yeah,
And I think then it's just a matter of like, are you setting up your team of agents in the right way,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then are you making sure they're going in the right direction, not spinning their wheels?
Yeah, and when did you start seeing these patterns where I believe you, but Chamath as well, as like roles are going to shift to
Yeah.
supervisor only?
I-
Um, when did you start seeing this pattern? Because I think you were very early. You were at my agent to
Yeah.
agent payments
That was fun.
hackathon, so you were very early tinkering around, figuring out these new tools. When was it that you started to see the pattern or could feel like, oh no, I can see about a year out now because of you've been in it, right? I've seen you in it. Was there a certain point where you were just like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can totally see it's going to be smaller teams or a compression,
Yeah, I
one
think
person supervising agents? When did
I
this
think it
happen?
was really when I started working at 8090, and as
Okay.
well, if anyone listening to this, if you're a talented full stack engineer, please email me, Arjun at 80.ai. We're hiring. It's really when I started working here because we have unlimited AI spend, and we have very, um, we have very, it's we have very like demanding, like yeah, exactly. We have very demanding timelines, and like Chamath and the team, they expect a lot from everybody, even if you're a new grad. And if you're there, it's like you have unlimited AI spend. Find a way to use it and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get these
Go,
ambitious goals you have
go,
done.
go, go. Yeah.
So, kind of what that kind of does to you is like I think I'm probably in the top 1% of token spent or 0.1% of like the entire world, and it's just like it's sort of like Karpathy has this Andre Karpathy, who's the
Yep, yep.
Tesla self-driving guy and the OpenAI guy. He has this quote which is like, if you want to get amazing at like machine learning, like just spend 10,000 hours doing it, right? And like you shouldn't worry about like what the right way or the wrong way to do it is. You should just do 10,000 hours of it. And as you do that, you will build scar tissue,
Yeah,
which is like you've done it the wrong way,
yeah,
and you build
yeah,
scar tissue, and you know you've
yeah,
done it the wrong way. Well, what he says, which I think is very powerful, is that there is like a determinism to it. Like it's not like it's basically if you get to the 10,000 hours, and you just do something, if you just do some machine learning for 10,000, even if it's
yeah.
like the dumb thing, you will eventually get to a place where and that's I think with coding agents as well. It's I probably spend I don't know if it's 10,000 hours
Yeah, I
because
think it's compressed now. I wouldn't
it's
say it's
compressed.
10,000 anymore, but
Well,
at one point probably would have been.
yeah, I mean I'm probably in the thousands of hours or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
just
I think that
spending
right now, if you're
coding
like,
agents.
even
Yeah,
that alone is
and
depth.
then I think you learn stuff like this, which is like it's really about the context and making sure that you are as little of a bottleneck as possible
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
your
So,
agents.
and this is one of the reasons I pivoted away from NeuroKick too, and talking
Yeah.
with your brother. And for those that don't know, I was trying to get his brother to work for me, but you guys got him at 80, 90. And I had this side project where I was building a leadership coach, and it was an ambient intelligence tool that listens in a meeting, but helps coach leaders how to be better leaders, or managers learn to be better leaders. And but I see the world is unfolding is just hyper contraction, single person teams. There's still going to be small teams, I believe, 5 people teams, even 10 or 20, 30, but I can't see more than that. And that compression made me think, well, no, it's not really going to be. Now, that's not going to take away. We still need human leadership, and that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
But I just figured like the market is going to change, so I don't want to go that direction. And I started going into different ideas. But so I was curious about how that pattern, when you seen it, and Chamath was also talking about it as well, like this future is just shifting beneath everybody's feet. So
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious when you start to see these emerging patterns where it gives you some semblance of seeing this shift, right? It's kind of like if we were to think about farming, where it wasn't straight to the tractor. It was an ox and some other device with wheels on it, and a plow that was sort of rigged together, and then and it was this iterative thing that eventually became machinery. So there's stages and phase transitions between these massive cycles, and you being so early and tinkering around with stuff, you got to see a lot of the patterns. So I was very curious about.
Yeah, I think the main thing, and as well, anybody that has spent time with farmers will know that they're actually very curious people.
Yeah.
The farmers that have really huge farms and are very successful, they're very curious. They're very what's that word for it? Neuroplastic people.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're always reading up on what's the latest machinery, or what's the latest sort of plant plant type, corn type, and so I think you just have to be neuroplastic and just try new things, and
I love that.
Also keep farming and actually keep growing crops.
Yeah. And then to your point about the neuroplasticity, if anybody's learning in this, and even I went through it where I'm like, man, this is really overwhelming. What I found helped me is what am I farming? What are my interests? And then I'm building things around the things that interest me, so that I can apply the rate of change to a project. And that's one way that I've been able to deal with the rate of change. But then also now seeing patterns, because I put in the cycles like you, where it's what do you start to see as patterns emerging? And I do believe there's a hyper compression between building products and services, and the amount of people that it takes to actually do that. And I think that's where 80/90 really shines. I can't wait to try it. I haven't tried it yet, but I will. And that's because you can, for instances where you do have a team, there's leverage to have multiple parties go in there, look at the contextual brain of somebody's business, and then make important decisions on how to help a customer move forward. So what is it? What is next for 80/90? I know you're super bombed. You're doing customer calls.
Yeah,
so are you doing forward deployed engineering with your customers, or what's it look like?
I'm sort of I'm finding my way to stuff, and sort of we try to make sure that all of our customers get an opportunity to talk to someone on the team, and so I'm sort of head of growth for our product now. So I just try and we reach out to all of our customers, especially those that have multiple users, and make sure that they understand sort of the philosophy behind the product, and why it's for them, or maybe if it's not for them.
Okay.
And then get them on board.
So who's it for? And I love that distinction. Who is it not for? Because I see Chamath saying the same thing. This may not be for you, but here is who it's for.
Well, it's really for the people that are trying to set up their teams for that time where you're gonna have 100 different coding agents.
Yes.
Build a very complex piece of software. That's a very long running sort of project.
Okay.
It's not for somebody who maybe just wants to build something like I probably wouldn't use it for a hackathon.
Yes.
You might use it for a hackathon, but that's not what it's meant for.
Gotcha.
It's you wouldn't use a tractor to go to school.
Great way to frame that. Yeah.
It's for complex business logic, and for like just complex pieces of enterprise software that are built over a long time.
Okay, cool. And I think you said the naming might change, but from what I've gathered so far, you've
Yep.
got the refinery, foundry,
Yep.
planner, validator, whether the names change. That's a sequence of a system of events that helps a project move forward.
So refinery is just what are we building? Like it's just like what are the features? How will we know that each feature is complete? The acceptance criteria. What are the user stories of who is everybody that's using it? How are they going to use it?
So that's the
That's
PM
refinery.
coming
That's
in.
the PM, the business analyst.
Does this system talk to them and say, help them answer those questions?
Yep, there's an agent.
Gotcha.
So the way we see people use it is you upload a bunch of artifacts, meeting transcripts, like we have 8-hour meeting transcripts with
Customer
customers.
intelligence.
Customer intelligence, PDF, PowerPoints, docs, and then the agent just asks you questions
Cool.
about what are the gaps in its knowledge still about the product. We'll keep asking questions and we'll fill out this document, multiple documents, like a product requirements documents. And then you have the base of like, you really know very well, like this is the problem we're solving from the customer's point of view. These are the features and this is that from that point of view. Then we go into Foundry, which is like, now that we know what we're building from Refinery, now it's like, how are we building it? So what are the technical, so this is where the software architect or the technical lead would go, and they're just going to be like, what is the most scalable, maintainable, and clear way to build this? What are the high level technical decisions?
Composable.
Yeah, what's the system design?
Yeah.
What are the different architecture decisions that need to be made, so that we don't need to go and burn tokens again, reworking all the dumb decisions Kershaw makes down the line. Because no, they're smart, but like it's even like people. It's like if you're very focused on it's like I have a friend who works at Meta and at Facebook. I guess they have a big culture of having metrics and like OKRs, and like you have this OKR that you have to really hit, and that's it's really good to have that, because like what you don't measure you can't improve. But a problem that can happen is if you're measuring the wrong thing.
That's right.
So you need to measure the right thing.
And then people start gaming outcomes towards metrics that aren't actually the ultimate goal. They're an internal goal, and it gets muddy. I know, but
exactly.
Okay, yeah. So then people go through Foundry, and I'm assuming then, if that helps the technical architect sort of like walk through the stage after the refinery. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming there's like agents behind the scene now that are almost ready, locked and loaded, and interpreting now the technical human in the loop conversation at the Foundry stage. And then what? Do then the agents start getting ready and locked and loaded for the planner? Or?
Yeah. So then our refinery Foundry it's really about like critical thinking, and applying as somebody who has a lot of experience. Somebody and has thought about stuff, is applying your taste and your critical thinking and your judgment to set this stuff up properly. And then in planner, so refinery is what are we building, foundry is how are we building it, planner is now how are we going to build it, like in what order. So it breaks everything down, and so you also connect your code base to it, so it knows kind of what you built. And based off what you want in refinery and foundry, it starts planning out tasks, and then sort of like a Jira, like a Jira sort of system internally. And then it's just like each specific task here now is very different from a Jira ticket. A Jira ticket is usually like one sentence: fix the bug.
Yeah. Oh, I know. There's nothing worse.
Fix the bug,
and then it has no context.
What's the bug?
Where did this come from? Nothing. It's like, oh man,
fix the click.
It's so painful.
It's red.
Right? And now you got freaking people making $200K, pinging somebody on Slack, going what? And it's just a waste.
Yeah. Right.
It's like all this waste in these
fix the bug.
Teams.
And then what Planner does is there's an agent again in like Refinery Foundry, and it helps you make these work orders.
Yeah.
So you plan them out, and then it makes really very thorough implementation plans.
Very, very cool.
For each work order, which connects again back to Refinery.
Yeah.
It has the acceptance criteria that connects back to the architect decision Foundry about how you want it to be built, and then it's like, this is really how we're gonna. This is a very specific work order, and then we have an MCP server which I use with Cursor. I'm still like, Chamath wants us to move us off from Cursor to Cloud Code, but it's.
Well, you get
I think
sticky,
I'm gonna
right?
have to
You
do it
get used to
eventually.
things.
I need to pull the trigger eventually. Because I think it's just Cloud Code is like people are
That could
loving
change
it.
next year, right? But
That could change next year, but and then you just pull it in, and then your agents, whatever some people use Codex or like Copilot or things like that.
Yeah.
Then your agent just knows what it's building,
Yeah.
rather than a one line ticket. With the MCP server, it can again pull back the engineering plans and diagrams and product
Love it.
requirements if it needs more
Love it.
context,
Right.
and then have all the acceptance criteria, and then you can use tools like the browser to just verify what it's working on.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of it, you can just very easily know if a thing's done or not.
It's amazing. So any human coming into the system can have full context end to end.
Yeah.
No longer these random tickets in Jira that have absolutely no meaning, that create work because they're like, oh, now I got to go call somebody, talk to somebody. This becomes a very almost like a digital twin of a project's life cycle going through the
Exactly.
stages.